punters, welcome back to a very special episode of the Betting Bad podcast. Today I'm here with Dino, obviously my co-host. Got a big program to get through. We've got footy, we've got the racing, we've got the $1 Million Chase, we've got the PFL, we've got the Everest, Kosciuszko, name a few. And Dino and I put out the Batman signal last night. We needed someone to look at this from a different perspective, a different lens, a different pair of eyes, and I think we found the man for it. We've got Brock Turnell, big fan of the show here. Brock, how you going?
I'm a huge fan. I'm probably the shittest punter, but, I'll come here to have some fun, that's for sure.
Bloody oath, Brock. Good to see you again, mate. Thanks, Will. Good to see you after, doing it from my couch last week. Hopefully a few people listened in. It's good to be back in the studio. And, mate, good to see you again.
And I'm back.
Hey, good to... Last time we spoke on a podcast would have been Dino's Dugout. So... Few fans probably know your voice, all 10 of them, but how you been, mate?
I've been good. New job this year, new prospects, and still losing.
Yeah.
So
hey, you got a new girl, so you're winning in some
respect.
That's it.
That's it.
Gotta
but
give
the wallet is a bit thinner. I'm not gonna lie.
Always, she'll be watching. So maybe later we'll put down the barrel and you might tell how much you love her. But
for those at home as well, we had Brock on he was in our punters club in the early days as well. So he was one of the original 5 of us as well. So maybe
I believe. You were the lowest scoring in that punters club. Was that correct?
Yes.
My podcast, my rules. So we're gonna skip over that one. Straight into the footy. We've got a big weekend. We've got the international footy as well. We'll get through that pretty quickly. Dino, what are your thoughts on the footy this weekend? Friday night, we got Kangaroos and Tonga.
Yeah, so the Pacific Championship's coming up. Exciting for obviously the second tier international teams. I believe that the international game has really excelled since they've brought this into play, and it starts off Friday night. So we get a little bit of a fix, obviously after Penrith winning the grand final. All your footy heads, it's an awkward time before the cricket, so it's come at a perfect time, and really going to enjoy these two games. I mean, they put on a spectacle, which is awesome. The haka and all those traditions. So it is exciting. Tonga versus Australia is going to be a bit of an interesting one. The line set at 16.5, which I'm going to take Tonga to cover, actually. Reason being, like I said, pretty much those reasons. They absolutely love these kind of things. They love to, they play with a lot of passion. I think if they can harness that in a big game, they've got such good forwards. You've got Elise Katoa, Tamalolo, just to name a few, and Aden Fanua-Blake as their captain. So we're going to be a bit short in terms of no Cleary, no Munster. I still think we're going to win, but I reckon they'll cover the line. And, you get about $1.90 for that one. Moving forward as well, obviously there's a second game. I know, Brock, you're pretty keen on this as well. PNG and Fiji.
I do like the Kumals, is that right?
The Kumals.
Kumals. K-U-M-U-L-S, I believe, yeah. I do like them.
It's also a brand of nut at Woolworths. Salted Kumals.
There we go. Well, I'll be in the stands celebrating with my nuts in Suva. When we win.
Well, I'm gonna have my nuts on the line because I think that they're gonna win actually head to head.
$2.30, I believe. Last time I checked, I like it.
Yeah, $2.30, $2.40,
$2.60, lads.
Oi,
$2.60, lads.
Sorry, that's why I'm not a bookkeeper.
Yeah, 100%. I think they've got a good spine with Laybut and Lockie Lamb. I think Fiji, they're going to rely heavily on Kikau and Sivo as their only points, and I think with Jack DeBellin at 13 is going to tighten up the middle. It's going to be a cracker. Look, Fiji could come out and just have too much skill out wide and have too many finishes. But look, if Fiji want to be an NRL team, I think this is the perfect time to showcase why they can be. And mate, if you're looking at it as a young player and they want to sort of, be like, oh, I want these players to come play for PNG, you got to start winning on the international stage. So I think 260s overs and
big time.
Put them in a multi, you might get $5.
I had a look at Fiji's halves lineup. I think you got Kevin Nguama at 7. And then I just looked at PNGs. Yeah. So I filmed straight away.
Mate, I did the same. I saw Michael Jennings as well, and I started going great. And he's playing in the centres. So, I think that I think it's value, to be honest.
Definitely.
And you put them in a multi, it's $5. Look, plenty of other same game multis you can go out there if you're a punter, but. The international game, anyone can score, and I think those two will cover yourself for a bit of a footy fix.
Big time.
Pretty solid bet, lads. Pretty solid bet. I'll be getting around it, of course. I'll let you guys know as well. We actually have a fan bet that did get some. We had a few that came through at the colour couple, but the best one that came through, big fan of the show, Tommy Jackson, an avid Rabbitohs fan. He's got a few tips in the footy. So, Jock, if you can get that one on for us, mate.
Boys, thanks for having me on. Into the game, I look at these two squads and I see no upsets. Tonga have a really good pack, but I see Australia running them off the park in the second half once they get tired. Tonga haven't beaten Australia since 2019, I believe, and they had a really loaded squad. So I just don't see it happening. So my bet is Australia to cover the line at 17.5. I have Angus Crichton anytime. I see him running over Tui Lalahia. And I have Tom Dearden anytime. Once that pack gets tired, he's going to be dummying and running. And he's rearing to play for Australia, this boy. So that'll get you $10 flat. I also have some side bets of Australia second half to win +9. You can't put that in a multi. That'll get you $1.90. And I like the women's game. The PNG team +62.5. That's 10 converted tries Australia have to get more than. So I just don't see that happening. Go the Rabbitohs.
Oh, yes.
Oh, how good is that, lads? +62.5. I think we're not going to see a bet like that on the show for a long time. So, Dino, I mean, he's gone against you in the Tonga and Australia game.
What a hat. What a bloke, first and foremost.
I knew you'd like him.
I wish I had a Donald Trump impersonation because that would have worked perfectly.
I'm going to Gummel.
Also, look, he makes a good point. If the middles do tire, then Australia have got obviously the class edge out wide to run over them. So it all depends on the fitness edge on that. So we'll see how we go. We haven't actually given away a fan bet. And no one won the giveaway. So, look, if he gets up, I'll be more than happy to give him a case.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Obviously, we'll get him a case if one of those get up. Dearden any time, I do like that personally as well. He seems to find the line pretty well. So, not a bad bet by the fan. But moving on, we've got the $1 million chase on Friday, Dino. And I know that you've done a little bit of form and you kind of got your nose really stuck into this one. So, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so I do, and hopefully, as any dog race does, this one comes out of the boxes. It's I know they probably you're thinking, oh, it's just favourite. It's been tipped everywhere, but look, I can't go past it either. It's explicit. It is going to be the best bet on Friday. Look, I don't know if anyone knows dog racing or times, but there's no human element like horses. So you got to look at what is the fastest dog in the race, and ultimately, if they jump. Then that is the best. And explicit and missed the kick last start in the semi-final and still run 29.19, which a lot of people saying on track was the best run they've ever seen. So if it jumps, it could absolutely blow these apart. The $1 million chase is obviously, it's in the name, it's for $1 million. So you'd like to think the trainers have these dogs primed. But there are plenty of class dogs in the race. Probably looking, if you want a bit of value, maybe the 5. But I'm not going past the 7. If it jumps with them, I think it wins by a length. And, there's not much else you can do and really say. 29.19, anyone who knows dogs, that's low flying. So I think that's my best bet.
And it's going for 4 in a row, explicit as well, at $2.50, I believe it is. And obviously that's price probably going to come in closer to the game, closer to the race. Sorry, Brock, any thoughts on that one?
In my short knowledge of backing dogs after 10 p.m, I think it's a good bet.
No, not trackside. This is a real dog.
Oh, sorry, the real dog.
This is not the computer.
I thought this was just number 12. I just backed the one with the most numbers on it.
Yeah. In saying that as well, with Lightning Bet, it is our major sponsor. We do have to plug him because he's a great bloke and a great app. Also, they've got so many good promotional things on. I know I'll be using them this Friday with the Mega Odds Boost. Because explicit now is about $2.25. It was $2.60, $2.70 about 2 days ago. I think it's just going to continue to short. I know the bookies are going to try and make this one still above $2, but I think the weight of the money is going to bring it in. So I'll be using my Mega Odds Boost Lightning Bet. It pretty much is the best power play on the market that I've seen around. So get on there, use Walter as our sign-up code. You'll get looked after, boys. Trust me. You will get looked after.
You have to take our word for that one, but you'll be looked after. That's for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Not much more we can say, is it, Will?
No. A bit of trust.
Yeah,
of a tipping show. Might see a little bit of trust from the fans.
Well, hey, there's a bit of trust, and on Wednesday, mate, we got some winners.
Oh yeah, how do we forget about that?
Come
Wednesday,
on.
2 from 2. I mean, mine wasn't as spectacular as yours. $1.88. Louis Garul in the Dana White's Contender Series. I still take my wins where I get them. So split decision, who cares? Everyone just sees a W. No, doesn't matter about split. Win.
Yeah.
But you obviously had Flamin' Romans that you tipped on the story early on Wednesday morning. You messaged me quite early saying you want to get this tip out, and I said, mate, go ahead, get it out. And what a result.
Well, on the turn, I was going to sound like Alf Stewart with the big flaming galah for Flamin' Romans, but fuck, it came out of nowhere, didn't it? It actually, I thought it was gone.
It got a second win, that's for sure. It looked shot on the bend, but what a last 100.
Yeah, no, it was good. Hopefully the punters got on it. We had a couple of good DMs though, so always keep up to date with our Insta page. You know, our strike rate's pretty good so far. Hopefully we can tip into a few more, but good Wednesday fill up. I've definitely got my bank account loaded for this weekend. Did you get on, Brock?
I didn't get on.
Mate.
No, I was busy working, Dino, unlike you.
What are you doing? Doing what?
Dino's in the toilet anyway.
Yeah.
Please, you're disabled.
Yeah, on the balcony. Good thing it wasn't 3 stories up.
That's a good segue, lads. We've obviously had some winners on Wednesday, and we've got a massive day on Saturday. There's not too much more I can say. We've obviously got some huge races, but we'll start off with Caulfield and then obviously move to a big card at Randwick. Sorry. Caulfield, race 6. Brock, you have something special there.
I do. I've been looking at a few different things across the day, obviously between our 2 big tracks, Caulfield and Randwick. And my tip for race 6 is the top weight, Amina. Now, I've looked across the race, I've looked across the form, and I just think that Amina has the best form. It's coming from Autumn Glow, the likes of Manal in its last couple starts. I'm just honestly looking at form, and off that, it's the best horse, and I think it just doesn't get beat at the 1400 there.
Wide barrier. Sorry, Dino. Wide barrier. Barrier 11, 58 kilos. Are you concerned about the barrier at all? Where do you think?
I think there's going to be enough up the front where it should be able to get a spot at least with cover. And I think coming around Caulfield with the width, I know there is a 3 metre. The rail's out 3 metres on the Saturday, but I think with the wide cover, won't feel any traffic. Should get a wide peel and hit the line hard.
Yeah, has it run at Caulfield? The one thing, there's horses that can either handle Caulfield or they can't. I think if Amina, like your Sydney form for down in Melbourne is always something that you take on. I do like that tip. The one fearful thing, obviously, with Caulfield, it's got a little bit of a dip at the turn. If it handles that, I think we're in for a massive chance, bro.
Like it.
If it doesn't, you'll know straight away. It'll put
I'll be getting sprays.
No, you won't be getting sprays. But how much is that?
That was, I think it's about $4.50, I think.
It's come in a little bit. It's about $4 now. It's equal favourite with GG's Miss Truth. Lucky for Brock, that number 3. The joint favourite, it's barrier 12, so it sits just outside him. So Amina should get a good ride there as well, which will be obviously beneficial. We'll be on that, obviously on Lightning Bet. I'm assuming they'll have some promotions there with some money backs for 2nd and 3rd. So a good win bet there by Brock. Dino, Caulfield Cup.
Caulfield Cup. So one of the great feature races that Peter V'landys decided to take head on with the Everest. A few Melburnians probably don't like the fact that the Caulfield Cup is now the second-rate race of the day, but nonetheless, this is a massive tune-up for the Melbourne Cup, which is exciting for all pundits. I think with this race, a lot of the time you look at the Caulfield Cup, look at the runs for a lot of horses that may not win for the Melbourne Cup. I'll keep my eye out for that. But the one big thing, mate, Buckaroo, our probably the biggest successful tip we had so far that to lift us off a little bit. We followed it all prep, and I'm not going. I can't get off.
I feel like the page has made Buckaroo. To be honest, Buckaroo was a nobody until Betting Bad got on board. So, Buckaroo, you've got the Betting Bad podcast to thank. But that's a good tip, Dino. It's about $4, $4.20. So
Joe Morero, I think that it's going to be its grand final for this prep. I don't know. Look, if it wins this, they're probably going to want to try and push it for the Cup if it can. But I think this one is its grand final. It's drawn barrier 8, which is awesome, especially when you've got Joe Morero on board. Look, very, very weary of Elias. Its strike rate's phenomenal. I think it was absolutely... Its run last start was phenomenal on a hot speed, and I think it's only going to benefit from that. The only thing is it's going to have... plenty of people inside it. You got Deny Knowledge, who will keep Elias, I believe, outside the speed. So I think for backers of the Waterhouse and Bott stable, we might just run over it, and I'm hoping so for us.
Let's just hope there's no track bias like there was last week, because we don't need Deny Knowledge just sprinting away and winning at 50.5 kilos, because I'm getting flashbacks now.
Well, I think with all the backlash, hopefully... I don't know. Look, if it's track bias, it's track bias. There's not much we can do. I mean, that's the thing. We put this out on a Thursday. When you're punting on a Saturday, you've got to be smart. So if it is being track bias, then, you have to adapt as a punter and just be weary. So, but for now, hey, get on Buckaroo.
Perfect. Brock, did you have anything in the Caulfield Cup?
I did, and I don't want to spoil your party, Dino, but I'm sure the punters would like to hear this one get up. Now, I am a bit of a slut for a gear change in Melbourne. And at Caulfield, in the Caulfield Cup, we got Calipor, the top weight, coming in with blinkers on first time. Now, I don't know about you, but blinkers on first time does something to me insides. All right, it's got blinkers on first time. Loves winning in the middle of its prep.
Yeah.
I know it didn't have a great run last start, third up, but it's fourth up. I think it's had 2 starts, a second and a third. I think it's prime.
Yeah.
I think it's here. It's like you said with Buckaroo. It's ready for this race. It's a big dance. It's a big dance. So I think it shows up.
Beauty.
At a 101.
At 101.
101.
101.
Oh, stop it. Hold
101. Blinkers
No
on.
wonder you, mate. No
He's
wonder
gonna
you
go like
became friends with Will first up.
Valiant King is in this
You
race
love a
as well.
roughie in the sack and you love a roughie on track.
Valiant King's in this race as well, just quietly. So
Yeah.
could be going a wide trifecta in that one. Obviously, we're doing the quaddie on Saturday as well with Caulfield, so I'm assuming the Caliper will be in there. Valiant King will be in there for me, and
Great quaddie with Caliper running.
we'll have Buckaroo.
101. Hey, make sure we clip that because if it gets up, we're laughing.
And if it doesn't, first and last appearance on the show. Mate, that's Caulfield. That's excellent. I mean, obviously the 2 tips there, but Randwick, we have a few more. Brock, Randwick race 1.
Randwick race 1, I think it's a 2400, and I like something. Haven't really watched too much of its racing, but after doing the form, I've sort of earmarked this horse. It's called Etna Rosso, number 6. Now it's coming in and will like the give. There is a bit of rain around tomorrow, 70% in Sydney. So I'm expecting a bit of give in the ground to last till Saturday until it start at the first one. It was slow last start and got out slow. It's too deep. It made some pretty good ground. I think it ended up 5th. But I just think Saturday with this race coming in, it's got a better draw, should sit closer. And I reckon it's ready to go. I think it opened at 5s or 6s maybe, and it's already into 4s.
What do we got? What do we got, Will?
Lightning bet 440, always the best odds in the
There you
market.
go.
So look, people are thinking what I'm thinking.
A bit of confidence behind it,
I like
and
it.
especially the first at Randwick. If you get, when this
Well,
gets
that's
up,
what I thought the punters might want to fill up, and I'm here for fill ups. You know what I mean? I'm here to walk out with my boots nice and full and my pockets saggy. I'm not here for a joke.
yeah, no coins either. You can scrap that. No, notes only,
Nah.
please. Yeah.
I need to get the bus home, mate.
Yeah.
Payment straight on the Opal card. I'll pay you. What's up with that? Thanks.
Very good. Oh, I like that, $4.40. All right, there's one to kick us off on the first of the day. Randwick race 4. It's a James Squire Ank Stakes. I'm taking
Terrible beer, by the way. I don't know how that's got a.
the VB.
It's almost as bad as
No,
Furphy.
Oh, the James Squire.
The James Squires. No, the VB's a heaven. How do you name a race? Man, it was like the Furphy Stakes. I saw bookmakers spewing.
Knew there was a reason I never won on that race. Anyway, race 4, the James Squire Ank Stakes, mate. It's a very tough race. It's for 4-year-olds and up, and it's a race that's been around for a few years now. It was won last year by Renaissance Woman. There's Natoya, I Am Serious has won, Dixie Blossoms. I think this race, it's got the favourite at Hinge at $3.40, and at first look, I thought, it's going to probably lead the whole way. If there's any sort of bias on that day, I think it should probably shit in. It draws a wide barrier though, barrier 13. I had a look at the speed map. There's actually quite a bit of speed in this race. So there's Watch My Girl, who's about $10. There's Mountaintop, who's 41s. And they're both inside Hinge. So I think they might be able to keep Hinge either 3 wide or even just 2 wide and put a bit of pressure on, which is why I'm going for one that we've already backed for the page once, Zlotys. I backed this a little while ago. It was $15 when I first had a look at it on Wednesday. It's nearly halved its quote. It was $9 when I was doing all my form and all my write-up today. It's now $7 a win, $2.40 a place. It was being ridden by Jordan Childs. It's had 4 starts for 2 wins. It came second last start. It was 58.5 kilos. It drops down to 54 kilos. Kieran McAvoy on board from the 5 gate. I think it's going to get the perfect run just off midfield, and it's going to storm home and fly down the middle of the track. So Zlotys, I had it here at $9, but as I said, $7 a win. It's a good each way bet.
That's a great bet. Zlotys is, I think I was going to almost back that last start. So, I mean, Tim Myers from Betfair or the Tab has absolutely got that wrong. 15 into 7s.
15 into 7s. And look, it hasn't raced on the wet yet, which is my only concern, but the money's come for it. So I'm assuming that someone who's a little bit wiser than me knows more about this horse than us. So I'm going to
Barrier 5 as well.
follow the money.
Follow the money.
Follow
Give me
the
the money.
Show me the money.
Give me the money.
All right. What do we got
I'm
next?
all over that. Hopefully, Kira, he can't slaughter it from Barrier 5, surely.
Jordan Charles is hot. He ran a winner for me last week, 14s.
Geordie Childs.
Yeah.
One of his
Autumn slide or glide or something it was at Cranbourne last Friday
did
night.
say that was rough.
Yeah. Write it in. Jordan Childs is hot. That's all I got to say. And he's a good-looking bloke.
And he can ride a horse.
Hopefully we have the same luck. Randwick race 5, Dino.
The Kosciuszko. So the $5 million race for the country gallopers. The last two races from the Kosciuszko have been won by Front Page, which is in this race again. I believe it's for the Matty Dale stable. It cannot win 3 in a row. Probably. Will I tip it? No.
Love it already.
The reason being is there is going to be a lot of speed in this race, and Randwick is the best track in the country. I don't think there's going to be any bias at all here, boys, this weekend, which is good. The last couple of years have been absolutely teaming down the Everest. I can't remember the last. I could be wrong. Like maybe last year was fine, but from all memories, I can just remember it's been absolutely a heavy or a soft. I think this week it should be fine. And I think it's going to come for a really, really good race. There will be leaders in terms of Elson Boy, Compelling Truth, and Crayon from wide. So I don't think... I know that they're going to absolutely throw this favourite straight out in front. I've got Nash Rilla on Boom Talk. Now, hear me out, lads. I did a bit of research, and it's the first time I've gone into the kilometres. I got a speeding fine about 2 weeks ago, so I had the shits. But I wanted to see how fast a horse can run through a 60 zone. Turns out this horse can go 61 kilometres, so he wouldn't get done. He wouldn't get done. I did. He won't. But he's the third fastest horse behind Crayon and Martini Mama. Those two horses have a wide gate. This horse has got the fastest last 600. Nash is going to have the 2 gate. I reckon it's going to come out and just stalk these leaders. I know there's 4 horses are going to be herring out in front. In the 2 gate, he should be no further back than 6. Hopefully he doesn't get caught on the barrier or caught on the rail. And yeah, if you can get in the clear, I think at $8.50 you can back this each way with a bit of confidence. I'm quite confident with this one. Matty Dunn is an outstanding country trainer, and I think someone else deserves to win besides Front Page. Look, it can win 3, but we're going for a bit of value.
Beautiful, mate. I love it. Yeah, it's the Kosciuszko. Anything can happen. Front Page, definitely no moral. Boom Talk. It's actually $7.50 now. So if you're listening on Thursday night, get on because the smart money is coming, and especially after we release this, that's when it starts. It starts to pour.
We moved the market. Like I said, Tim Myers or Tim Ryan, I was listening to him yesterday. He looked at me. He said, "Mate, your tips, they're finishing me." As soon as the podcast comes up, things tumble.
Mate, didn't you see last week? Mr. Brightside, $1.50 straight up to $1.90. All right, race 7. This is the big one, lads. We've got the...
Don't you have a tip for the Cosy?
I'd like Compelling Truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Compelling Truth. I thought, coming out of its last couple of races, it's done pretty well. Coming into a big race at Kosciuszko with so many horses and, likes the Front Page, has a bit of an aura around it.
Yeah.
Some of the jockeys may be a little bit frightened by it, but, I think it's destined for something else to win. Yeah. And I like Nash on board of yours. And I like Compelling Truth. Maybe a Quinn.
Maybe a Quinn. We'll see.
Mark Zara on board. Barrier 13, but Zara can handle that, so that's fine. $12 a win, $3.20 a place.
Yeah, well, I like my odds long.
Well, it won at 110.
Plenty other things I like long too.
Could be a good omen here because it won at $110 last start. Won at Bathurst, Royal Bathurst. There you go. So there you go. The Tab Everest though. This is the big one, lads. This is the one that we've all been waiting for. This was the weekend that the whole racing calendar is pretty much built around, besides the Melbourne Cup.
Yep.
We all agreed. We said, look, this is a very tough race. We're not going to find probably a winner that we're certain on that we're willing to have our money on. So we're going to go a trifecta with 2 picks each. Dino, do you want to kick us off, mate? What are your 2 picks that will be definitely in the trifecta?
If you're watching fucking YouTube or Spotify, this race has been making me scratch my head all week. Like, fuck me. You may as well throw it.
I really hope that was planned, and you didn't just have an itchy head. And it was. I really hope you were like driving here today. You're like, "Oi, when I say this skit, I'm gonna scratch my head and be like, man,
is that dandruff coming off? Is that dandruff coming off?"
I did get a haircut today. I think Abdullah Shafiq might have put a bit of toothpaste in there. But
what are you scratching your head about, mate?
It's just such a good race, and there's so many chances. It should be. It's for how many? What's the winner get? Like, it's $20 million. It's
$40 million race.
Richest race on turf. So there's a bit of a lost aura about this year, I feel. But because we love horse racing, it doesn't. For us, I still reckon there's a bit of hype. But I'm going to go for the roughie for one of my tips, IME. I might be on a bit of a Nash train, but when I saw the barrier... Anyway, before we get started, did anyone see the shit show that was the barrier trial reveal with the circus delay?
I didn't see it.
Did any of you guys see it? Holy fuck.
I know you were blowing up the phone about
Mate,
it.
Jock, did you see it? No, Jesus. Well, good thing. It was a waste of... It was a
You
waste
would have been scratching your head fucking crazy.
It was a waste of time. Before the first barrier trial, they got this bloke in a fucking cannon. Seriously, shot him out. And then they put the barrier thing down. All the old punters are just looking at it going, hey, don't waste your time if you didn't watch it. But it was a bit of a shit show. But yeah, IME with the barrier trial, got one. I think, especially if we're doing trifectas, it's going to be in there for a long way. If it, I don't know. I've been on it all prep. It's about $17. I think with the one gate, it can either lead, which I don't think you want to at the Everest, although... Giga Kick's done it before and a few others, but it's going to be behind the speed, and if it gets a gap, it can run a cheeky race at odds for our trifecta. And I've been tossing up between two. I'm going to go Bella Nipotina. We've been on it for the last couple of starts. If I didn't say this horse, and it probably wins. So now that I've said it, it's probably going to get caught 3 wide, and fuck, who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, Bella Nipotina, IME. Like I said, there's a stack of other chances, but you can't pick them all. You just got to go with your gut and hope for the best. So they're my two boys.
Let's hope Bella gets a better ride than it did last start, because that was absolutely dreadful.
Is Craig on it this week?
He is.
Well, I saw the Pimple rode 2 winners today, so he can do it.
Hey, you put Craig in that fucking... with the cannonball, whatever you saw on Wednesday night.
The bloke looked like him.
I
swear to God.
Brock, what do you got, mate?
I've gone for 2 horses that haven't had the greatest prep, but like we spoke about earlier with Buckaroo, it's the big dance, and these horses are primed for this. It's a big, like you said, richest race in the world, and these 2 horses are going to be ready for it. So I've gone I Wish I Win.
Nice.
And I've gone Giga Kick.
Nice.
They're my 2 selections. Now, like I said, both have been thereabouts. Both have run well. Haven't won races in their 2 starts back this prep, but it's the big dance and they're going to show up. Like Giga Kick's performed well enough to be considered a big threat in this race, and I think we're getting a good price outside 10s, I believe.
On Giga, $14.
14s, and then I Wish I Win, I think, is a little bit short. I think that's 7s. So I'm pretty happy with those 2 prices. And like I said, they're both good horses. They both don't run a bad race. They're going to be in that top 5 area. And in these type of races, it's going to be a big finish. So I think they're both going to get there over the line.
I like it.
I like all the selections so far. I'm glad we're not overlapping on any at the moment. So.
Oh, wow.
Well, you're lucky because I Wish I Win
don't think alike.
was serious. And Giga Kick, hopefully, the only bad thing about it's coming from the Stewards Yard that it's looking a bit overweight. So that's why that it's been drifting. And I think 3 runs back from a prep. Usually it's a horse that runs well fresh. So it might need those 2 runs. So I like it.
Beautiful. My 2, I've got... At least we've got a pretty close favourite here, Traffic Warden. I don't think you can go past it. Jamie Carr, 53 kilos is the big enticing factor here. It draws a good gate, barrier 2 as well, which I think is important. And I think when you're looking at races like this, barrier is important, the weight's important, and the jockey's important.
Yep.
Jamie Carr, I don't think she's been in the greatest form, but I think she can turn around with Traffic Warden. It's a great 3-year-old.
Yeah.
It's very talented. So I think that will be in the picture. I like Steffi Magnetica as well. So I don't know if you boys had a look at that one, but it's been freshened. It's only going to be fitter for its runs. It last start, it came second against... I can't see who it came second against, but it was a really good run by it at some decent odds. And I think in barrier 6 as well, Lloyd's on board, 56.5 kilos. I think it's going to be there or thereabouts. But I'm glad we've kind of covered off the big 6. IME, Bella Nipotina, I Wish I Win, Giga Kick. I mean, we have left out the favourite Jolly Star, but doesn't really matter.
Like I said, you can't pick them all. Jolly Star and Growing Empire as well, 2 very, very good horses. Steffi Magnetica, I believe, that won the Doomben 1000 and absolutely shat in, I believe, up in Queensland. So it's got some great form. Like every one of these horses got good form, and the trainers are gonna. It's a huge race. So there's 12 runners. We got 6. I'd probably be looking at a play like a trifecta in first 4 just to cover it off. And watch Growing Empire probably run second. But I do like it, boys. I do. You got to leave out a few, and all the selections that you've talked about, like I said, they've been in my radar, so I'm happy.
Happy with that. That's the Everest for us. Obviously, we'll do a quaddie on the day and everything like that. But that will be our betting bad play, the trifecta.
Yep.
Race 9. Brock, you've got something here in race 9.
I do have something here, race 9. It's my last one. Now, it's a big race. It's the King Charles. Sorry. R.I.P. the Queen. Respect. Yeah. Now, everyone's saying Pride of Jenny. Now, everyone lets Pride of Jenny run, and she's run too many times. I think coming into a race with a few more starters, I think there's 12, I believe, in this race. They're going to be putting a bit more pressure on her.
You'd think so,
especially with these longer odds things, you know what I mean? They're going to be up there. They're going to be on the pace with her, and they're not going to just let her run away. Like, she saw what she did at Moonee Valley, just ran rampant on him. And Mr. Brightside tried to come close, but in the end, Pride of Jenny pulled itself up and still finished a length clear.
Yeah.
So I think with these horses giving it a bit more go up the front, we're going to get a nice hot pace. Fangirl is my tip, and I think it's going to get a great trail in. I think it's going to just really sit in that pocket right behind that front pack. It's got a really good draw.
Yep.
And it's just going to peel. And again, like Wish I Win and Gig Kick, never runs a bad race. It's always thereabouts, and obviously last start was thereabouts at 1. And we saw what happened to Pride of Jenny last prep when Cascadian ran over it. I think we see the same remake again of Fangirl running over Pride of Jenny and getting us the chockies.
Yeah, I like it. I do like it. It's going to... Well, by now, surely the trainers in the races go, well, this is what Pride of Jenny's going to do. Like,
Definitely.
surely you've got... I mean, I know Major Bill's in that race that's inside it, who comes out herring out as well. So... fair dinkum, if you're a trainer and you got Pride of Jenny in your race, you go, all right, well, you know, we're like, you know, 50 to 1 or 71, and go, we're no fucking chance of getting this unless we try to lead it. So
Especially
hopefully,
something like Major Bill. Major Bill's really not a shot unless it tries to keep Pride of Jenny in one out. So that's a great selection. I think Pride of Jenny's way too short at $2 as well. Like, it's barrier 11, $2 when it's got Fangirl on the race. I think that's...
I tell you what, it'll be there for a long way. So it's going to be an exciting 100, I
believe
reckon.
Fangirl has moved under 4s last I checked too, just FYI.
$3.50 on...
It was $4.50 last I checked, so
Jesus.
already a dollar move.
I tell you
I
what,
did speak
all
about
your
it
tips.
to-
Did you tip off someone today?
Well, I've spoken to a few people, so I'm assuming the people I've spoken to have placed large bets, and that's why the market has moved. I'm assuming, because I do speak with a lot of confidence.
One of the whale punters, Jack Riley.
Yeah.
Probably smashing this thing.
No, well, he'd only get on if it was in Dusseldorf. And
Lads just had 700 on that favourite at Dusseldorf. Bang.
Can't pick him. It did hit. So you can't, it hit that Dusseldorf.
He would.
It hit.
How about all those 2 a.m.s? I'm just taking a shit. Just won 400.
Doing his Val
God.
form.
Val.
Race 10, lads. I've got something here. It's a benchmark 88. It's the last of the day. The get out stakes. It's not till 6 o'clock. It's actually quite late for a last race, but it's over the 1400.
Still sunny, Will.
It is still sunny. And I'm going with another talented horse here. Will I Do? Barrier 12. So who'd have thought?
Will.
Its last start, it was really never in any kind of danger. It beat a lot of this field as well. It's going to take some catching. The issue was the barrier. When I looked at the speed map, the lot of the speed is going to be coming outside it. I know it's barrier 12, but there's a lot of speed coming from barrier 20, barrier 18, and barrier 17. So I hope
the car park,
mate, they are. It's a big race. I think there's about 20 horses in this one. So I'm relying on, I think it's Nash. Oh no, sorry, J Mac to get it across. And I think at $3.50. It's still some value. Oh, sorry, it was $4 this morning. $3. Jeez, the market does move. Who have I been telling? But mate, I think it's going to take some catching. The other, I guess, the danger in this race is it's been scratched. There you go. That's probably why it's come in. It was Think About It, I think it was. But now it's Franz Joseph, which is one of the on pace, one of the speedsters as well. So. Look, it's going to be a tough race, but I think if we're down and out and we're scraping our coins together and we've got one leg left in the quaddie, we'll be cheering on Will I Do.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we're gonna have a quaddie.
We are.
We're gonna have a quaddie. We got some good tips. $3.50. J Mac. He might be in for a massive day.
He always is on these big days.
He always does. He gets to pick the
He
rides.
he's got his 100th still to run, doesn't he? his 100th group point, I believe.
Yeah.
I
He
think
missed
so.
out last weekend.
He did with broadsiding.
Yeah.
That's why he had the
Yeah.
shits. You see him come into the steward's room, and
Wasn't
like when
happy.
he was not happy.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Should have seen
happy.
me walking into my room with Matilda there. How'd you go out there? Chuck's great.
Not now. Not now. Do you want to do the shopping? Oh, really? Now?
Really great. Yeah, so that's our race day. Dino, look, if we are losing, we call it donating, don't we? So if we're going to be donating that day, there's probably better ways to donate, isn't there?
There is always a better way to donate, guys. If you're always opening up your wallet this weekend or this month, it is a breast cancer awareness month. Like I said before, my lovely partner, she reached her goal of $1,000. So thank you to everyone out there who has donated. But there's always another way. And if you back one of our tips, even beforehand, go ahead on the website. It's going to a good cause. Guys, we all know someone who has gone through it all. And every bit of money to research does help. So get on board. We will have the link up this time. And like I said, it's the month of breast cancer awareness. So get on board. We've got our pink ribbons on,
Yep,
which
sure
we'll be wearing. Make sure it's around the right way.
Wearing that all Saturday, mate.
Wearing it all Saturday. So pretty in pink. And go ahead and donate. And like I said, give it to a good cause.
A great cause. Dino, that's Saturday. Over the weekend, look, there is some UFC this weekend.
Yeah, up your boys' alley.
Look, it's not the best card, so I don't know about Brock, but I haven't personally done much form on it as well. It's Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, they call him.
Yeah, Fluffy.
Who let
Fluffy?
Fluffy off the chain?
Fluff.
Seriously, no one's called him Fluffy. Like, he's named himself Fluffy.
Oh,
That's his
mate,
nickname,
he fucked you up.
Oh,
yeah,
mate, I'm not that. Hey.
He's on a finish streak,
Hey,
I believe.
hold
Big
on.
Fluff master.
Hey,
he
you've never
actually
seen me go, huh? Through a wet paper bag.
Couldn't
he
hit
would
water,
definitely
Dino.
fuck me
Couldn't
up.
hit water.
All bark, no bite over here.
Yeah, exactly, mate. But look, we kind of, well, at least me personally, look, I've stayed away from the UFC. There's a PFL card this weekend. I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday, but it's headlined by the great Francis Ngannou.
Ooh,
And
great.
he's up against
PFL.
PFL.
Yep.
It sounds like a soccer league, doesn't it? I was
Mate.
talking to Will earlier. I go, what do you mean the PFL, the Professional Football
As I
League?
said, mate, Francis Akinfenwa. Right back.
Emmanuel Ngannou up front.
Careful. Anyway, we've got Renan Ferreira versus Francis Ngannou.
We've already got death threats from the China doll camp trying to hate Suki. And what was he? Gordon Chum Tong Un.
Yeah. I got spray gun in the sushi train the other day. It was terrible. Hey, Ngannou though, he's too short. He's $1.30, and he's coming off a
Jesus.
loss to Anthony Joshua. I think Brock's going to agree with me here. Brock knows a lot about his sport and especially his MMA. But look, coming off a knockout loss as bad as he did, I know he beat, technically took it to a decision with Tyson Fury. Didn't beat him, but he was close. But against Anthony Joshua, he got pumped and he got knocked out. And look, he's not getting any younger. He's, what is he, 38?
He's 38. Renan Ferreira's 35. And Renan Ferreira's definitely in his peak. Francis Ngannou, we don't know. He hasn't fought in MMA in some time.
No.
And look, and
The conditioning is that the big thing? I mean, they're heavyweights. I'm going to assume they're heavyweights.
Yeah, they're heavyweights.
Because Ngannou's as big as a
6'5",
fridge.
Ngannou, and 6'8", Ferreira.
He's massive, Ferreira.
Yeah.
He honestly makes Ngannou look like a middleweight. It's,
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But personally, I think that Ferreira. Look, if it was $1.90 each, you're probably going to go Ngannou just because of the experience
Yeah.
and
Yep.
because of the level of competition that he's faced. But mate, Ferreira at $3.50 or whatever it is now. If you can get on him to knock Ngannou out, I think that'd be like $3.80 maybe. It's going to be pretty short, $4. I think he can connect with Ngannou and get him pretty quickly. I think Ngannou's key to victory is really to get this one on the ground. I think that with a taller opponent, with a 6'8" opponent in front of him, he's going to have that lead leg.
6'8".
Mate, he's massive. He's going to have that lead leg teasing him the entire fight. I think that Ngannou's going to just think, look, I need to get this to the ground.
Yeah.
I might be sprinkling a little bit on Ngannou's submission. Just I think if he does get it to the ground, if he does get it through
Little sprinkle.
it is a little sprinkle, couple hundred. Ngannou's submission though, look, I think that's worth a little dabble. To be honest, he's a better MMA fighter than Ferreira. Ferreira's a better striker, but I think if he gets it to the ground, I think Ngannou might have some top control, but.
Let's not confuse the punters.
No.
We got to try and stick one.
Of course, it's Ferreira. It's Ferreira by knockout. I'm just saying, have a fiver on Ngannou's submission for the punters. If you want to be conservative, go Ferreira knockout. I don't know if we have conservative punters that listen to this, but We'll find out. Pereira knockout, $3.50 or whatever it is. It's great value.
Well,
What do you think, bro?
I do like the hundreds and thousands on Ngannou there. I do like it because personally, I do think Ngannou wins the fight. But $1.30 is a ridiculous price. We can't be having $1.30 in a heavyweight bout where two heavyweights are just going to be throwing haymakers left, right, and center. Too much can happen, and both top of their game. Like, it's a championship fight. It's not, a really good guy fighting a shit guy. We've got two top level guys, and I know Ngannou's been out for a while, and coming off that Cyril Gane fight, he did tear ACL, PCL pre that fight, and still out wrestled and beats Cyril Gane convincingly.
Yeah.
So I think he still wins this fight.
How do you think he wins? By takedowns, or do you think he knocks him out?
I can see a finish, whether it's on the ground or whether it's standing up. I'm not too sure, but I think personally, if I had to put my money somewhere, I'd say, which I will,
Yeah.
I'll take the KO, purely because he can take
KO.
him down and pound him, and I reckon Renan, maybe in other ways, but we'll see.
I know he's been out of the ring a while, but
There's a reason they call him the Predator.
Look, Renan comes out hot. I think he was an outsider in the big $1 million fight against the Russian fella. I couldn't tell you his name. He's
been an outsider
But
against all his opponents.
he has. And-
Ryan Bader, he was $2.20 or something
Yeah,
like that. I remember I was on him that fight. It's he's underestimated.
It's crazy the prices that he's been getting. And again, we see it again with this $3 price. But yeah, he's going to come in hot. And I reckon Ngannou doesn't like being pushed back. And his best defense is attack. And he's going to belt him.
well,
Yeah.
6'8", he's going to gas. Can I ask where's his fight being held?
This is
the
in
PFL.
Saudi. This is in Saudi
Of course
Arabia.
it is. Massive fights. The Saudis
Yeah.
can always get these ones
Riddiya
going.
season, as they say.
Riyadh.
Yeah,
Riyadh.
Riyadh,
Riyadh.
don't come
Yeah.
for me, Saudi.
No, Riyadh. Yeah, we've already got
Riyadh,
allegations
sorry.
from.
Apologies, Riyadh.
We can't have the Saudis on us as well as the.
Well, we put a request to be sponsored by him, and it fell through.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it.
We saw
Reasons
the
unknown.
Noche event and thought,
Well, I'll tell you
if
what-
they can sponsor UFC, they can sponsor us. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
We're going to do
come on,
Punte UFC, but no, it didn't work.
Ngannou, he'd be desperate to get back, wouldn't he? I mean,
Yeah, it's his first MMA fight.
after the Tyson Fury, probably should have won that, and then got absolutely smacked
he
around.
There was a lot of dramas with that fight, though, with the Anthony Joshua fight. I remember he did an interview where he said that they brought him in a few hours before Anthony Joshua got in.
Yeah.
They told him the time that he was meant to walk out. Anthony Joshua actually arrived.
Yeah.
So a lot of mind games, and I think that played a lot of part into that.
Yeah, but if you can tell by our opinions on that, we're not going to be having too much on this. We can both see, Brock and I, look, we're massive MMA and UFC fans and PFL, and we can both see how this fight can go either way. So don't go crazy on it, but if you're scraping your coins together on Sunday or Saturday, whenever this is.
When is it? I was going to say, because I tell you what,
Sunday, on stand.
I love watching heavyweights.
Sunday.
Boys. Heavyweights are the best. They just go in there and
Like belt.
all it takes is one hit.
It doesn't go the distance, mate. This one does not go the distance.
Yeah, there's
so,
no way.
I think that's us, lads. I think that's us. That's a really good episode. We've gotten through a bit. We're obviously going to get everything on Instagram, and we'll try and get it on TikTok and YouTube and everything.
I think off the back of that as well, we do have another fan.
We do.
We got I think so. I got a.
You had a fan send a question in, did you?
Yeah,
Where's this fan
from overseas. It came up on a WhatsApp actually, like the +614s, and I went, mate, fuck off. I don't want to do your job. But lucky I opened it because I believe he's got a question, especially for you boys who absolutely love the Octagon. Jock, do we have this one up?
Hey, Betting Bad podcast. It's Adam here from Austin, Texas. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. I just saw the news that the UFC is going to be coming back to Sydney in February of next year. Curious as to who you guys think will be the main event and co-main event on the card. Love you guys.
Ooh.
There we go. Adam
nice.
from Austin.
Adam from Austin.
Good looking bloke. I reckon he's going all right
He
over
is.
there and with an Australian accent in America.
Oh, he'd be killing it, right?
I think so.
Galore.
I never met him, but Adam seems like a good bloke. What do you reckon, boys? It is here. It's in February, I believe.
It is, yeah.
Where is it? Where's it going to be? Sydney or Perth?
Kudos. Kudos
lovely.
Bank, yeah, in Sydney. So it should be good. In terms of who's going to be on the card, I think you have to throw Volkanovski in there. And I had a look today, actually, just from our own curiosity, and I saw that Ilia Topuria, if he was to fight in February, that's exactly 4 months, and that's the time frame that Volkanovski fought him on. So it would be quite fitting, I think, to give Volkanovski that rematch against Ilia Topuria as either the main event or the co-main. Probably the main event.
You got
if he's for the title,
You
for
got to
sure.
have an Aussie in the main event, don't you?
Yeah, we could have Volkanovski Ilya as the main, and then what? You can maybe throw Israel in there. They like getting on the same card together. Dan Hooker, maybe Dan Hooker and a Gaethje.
Isn't Hooker versus Connor?
Nah,
Or is that just
Well, they said for Hooker
clickbait?
said for February.
nah. Hooker said he can't do February. He's expecting a
Oh.
child. So,
Oh.
Oh, yeah, he's on the phone with me yesterday. He's expecting a child, lads. Sorry about that. should have started with that. Yeah.
You should have told us.
Yeah.
My
Connor's
sneaky-
down for it, but
My
Connor's
sneaky
down
for
for
main,
everything. I actually saw him at 3 a.m. last night.
Depending UFC next week, but sneaky for the main event. If Robert wins, he fights Tricus at Sydney.
Oi.
yeah, that's a great shout.
He
Oi.
fights Tricus in
I'd
Sydney,
love to
and
see
Tricus has
that.
already said he'll come back to Australia. He's happy to fight Rob in Australia if he beats Hamzat. So I think that's a big shout. Volk, personally, I don't think Volk fights on that card as the main, purely because I think Max wins.
Yeah, that's this weekend, isn't it?
next
next
weekend.
weekend.
Oh,
Max
next
fights
weekend.
Ilya,
Hey, we've
so
got a big card next weekend.
I think Max will beat him, and I reckon Volk would rather get the one up on Ilya than fight Max again before fighting for a title.
I think Volk is just such a he's an Aussie. He'll want to get one back on him for sure. He won't go down with just one loss. He'll want to get that rematch. And look, I just want to see two Aussies as main event, co-main event. Obviously, it's in our. You saw what happens in France. They had all the French fighters, but yeah. I mean, is our man Tai Tuivasa going to have a UFC contract by then?
I think he'll be at No Limit Boxing by that stage, to be honest. Big Georgie Rose.
Yeah.
No, look, he should be back, but man, they keep putting him against people, and he's just getting pumped.
Just
Like
getting
he's
pumped.
he's
give
got
him
to
a good matchup.
he's got to change something up, doesn't he? Like he's got to either move camps or I don't know. I think he's done that already, and it worked for a little bit, but.
He's
got too much money. He's got the beer company. He might just be enjoying
He's
life.
too
you know
much
what
of
I
a
mean?
draw to just keep giving him wrestlers. Just like what you saw with Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis got a lot of strikers, and he beat a lot of guys. And he got good matchups for him. So I think for him, just give Tyson better matchups. Like he's an exciting guy. He draws in numbers. He sells tickets, put bums on seats. So why you'd want to get rid of him when you can just put him up against some heavyweights who want to bang, and he'll give you a good fight.
Well, we'll see what happens in February anyway. But that's a great question. Maybe we can start that as a little segment. If you've got any fan questions next week, we'll start getting some questions in. You say where you are, who you are, where you're from, and give us something to talk about.
I like it.
Who you are, where you're from, and where you come from. There you go.
Yeah.
Love it.
Who you are, where you're from, and what's your name?
Nice to meet you.
All right, lads. I think that's us. That's a really good episode. Thanks, Brock, for coming on. We will
Anytime,
make it
anytime.
more of
Yeah, good.
more frequent for the podcast, and stay tuned to the Instagram page and the YouTube for all that and all the socials for the quaddie and the bets this weekend.
Happy punning, guys. I enjoyed that. Well, let's do it again, eh?
Let's let it rip, eh? Thank you very much. Hands in on 3.
Cut,
1,
Jock,
2,
cut.